Warm welcome to you here on TV News Hour, this hour on TV Sapientia. The top stories today. The president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Chris Piwuna, has said the federal government does not prioritize education because its officials do not consider the sector's problems as national concerns requiring collective responsibility. Authorities in Malaysia and Thailand have recovered at least 13 bodies as they search for survivors after a boat carrying undocumented migrants capsized, police and maritime officials said today Monday. And in sports, the Super Eagles camp officially opened on Sunday in Rabat, Morocco, with the arrival of 10 players as Nigeria begin final preparations for their crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup CAF playoffs. My name is Chioma Vicchukwemeka. Thank you so much for joining us. Now on the news info, we begin in education, where the president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Chris Piwuna, has said that the federal government does not prioritize education because its officials do not consider the sector's problems as national concerns requiring collective responsibility. Piwuna, who spoke on Sunday yesterday in a virtual conversation titled "A Conversation with the ASUU President," said the indifference of key government officials towards the education sector has made it difficult to achieve sustainable reforms. According to him, members of the Federal Executive Council often view education challenges as the sole responsibility of the Minister of Education. ASUU has long relied on strikes to press for its demands. In recent years, the union has often justified industrial action as prompted by government proposals that it views as a total departure from the agreed terms of the 2009 FGN-ASUU agreement, as well as unresolved issues such as outstanding promotion arrears, withheld deductions, and inadequate funding and renovation of public universities in Nigeria. Away from education, we move to security. The Nigerian Army has clarified the circumstances surrounding a viral video showing a confrontation between its personnel and the Anambra State Deputy Governor, Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezim, during Saturday's governorship election in Awka. The video, widely shared on social media platforms, show the deputy governor questioning the presence of soldiers at Ukwoji Umumbele, Ward 5, asking who authorized their deployment and whether they were supposed to be involved in the electoral process. A background voice in the video could be heard alleging that the soldiers were attempting to seize election materials and kidnap the presiding officer's claims. The officer in charge immediately denied on the spot. In a statement shared via the Army X handle on Sunday night, the acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations 82 Division, Lieutenant Colonel Olabisi Ayeni, said the clip misrepresented what happened. He explained that soldiers were deployed after receiving a distress call from the National Youth Service Corps officials and other independent National Electoral Commission staff at the polling units. The National Emergency Management Agency revealed that a total of 433,578 persons have been affected by flooding across 27 states and 123 local government areas of this country as of November 4, 2025. According to the 2025 flood dashboard obtained by newsmen on Sunday, 144,790 people were displaced by the floods, while 241 lives were lost. NEMA also confirmed 839 injuries and 115 persons missing nationwide. The data further showed that the disaster damaged 52,509 houses and destroyed 72,767 hectares of cultivated farmlands, leaving thousands of households without shelter and livelihoods. The demographic data showed that 82,820 men, 133,407 women, 197,566 children and 19,985 elderly persons were affected. In addition, 2,503 persons with disabilities were impacted by the floods. NEMA identified several key challenges in the aftermath of the floods, including resources shortages, that's 60%, security risk 9%, inaccessibility 18%, community resistance 8%, and coordination 4%. The agency identified food, shelter, water, sanitation, health services, and livelihood support as the most urgent needs of victims, followed by nutrition, education, protection, and security. The governorship election has come and gone on the 8th of November 2025. However, opposition parties yesterday condemned the conduct of the Anambra State 2025 governorship election, warning that the level of vote buying and institutional complacency witnessed during the exercise posed a serious threat to the credibility of the 2027 general elections. The incumbent Governor Soludo won in all the 21 local government areas in a landslide to seal a second-term ticket. The condemnation came just hours after President Bola Tinubu congratulated Soludo of the All Progressives Grand Alliance on his re-election, describing the outcome as an affirmation of visionary leadership and pledging closer collaboration between the federal government and Anambra State. The Independent National Electoral Commission's returning officer Edoba Omorege, Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, while announcing Soludo's victory, noted that the incumbent satisfied the electoral requirements, having won in more than 2/3 of all local government areas across the state. Soludo polled 422,664 votes to emerge the winner, with the closest rival, Nicholas Ukachukwu of the All Progressives Congress, scoring 99,445 votes to come second. Paul Chukwuma, the candidate of the Young Progressives Party, secured 37,753 votes, while the Labour Party candidate, George Mohalo, scored 10,576 votes. John Nwosu, the candidate of the coalition-backed African Democratic Congress, ADC, polled 8,208 votes. According to INEC, 16 candidates from 16 political parties participated in the election. But the ADC, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, alleged that the poll was reduced to a marketplace of cash for votes. We are following up on this story and we'll keep updating you. Away from Anambra State and Nigeria, authorities in Malaysia and Thailand they recovered at least 13 bodies as they search for survivors after a boat carrying undocumented migrants capsized. That's according to police and maritime officials, and they said this today. Officials said the boat was carrying about 70 migrants, many believed to be from Myanmar's persecuted Rohingya community trying to reach Malaysia when it capsized near Thailand's Taruta Island 4 days ago. They were believed to have been part of a larger group of some 300 people who were split between at least two boats, police said. Taruta is just north of Malaysia's island resort of Langkawi, where officials said search and rescue operations were being concentrated. Romli Mustafa, director of Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency in the north state of Kedah and Perlis, said rescuers had so far recovered 7 bodies, all identified as Rohingya. Well, from that story, we move to sports right now, where the Super Eagles camp officially opened yesterday, Sunday, in Rabat, Morocco, with the arrival of 10 players as Nigeria began final preparations for their crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup CAF playoffs. The first batch of players and team officials arrived at the Reef Hotel, Rabat, on Sunday afternoon, signaling the start of what could be a decisive week in Nigeria's campaign to return to the world's biggest football stage. The team's media officer, Promise Efohe, told newsmen that early arrivals included the trio of Calvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi, and Samuel Chukwueze, as well as Tolu Aroko Dare and Olakunle Olusegun. Coach Eric Chelle on Saturday finalized his 24-man squad for the playoffs as he named a strong roster of Europe-based stars and local standouts for the decisive fixtures in Rabat. The Super Eagles will face Gabon in the first playoff match on Thursday. Now, a win would send them into the African playoff final against either Cameroon or the Democratic Republic of Congo on November 16. also in the Moroccan capital. The playoff round provides African teams with an additional route to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Well, with that story, we'll wrap it up on the news. A quick reminder of our top stories. In education, we told you that the president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Professor Crispy Wuna, has said the federal government does not prioritize education because its officials do not consider the sector's problems as national concerns requiring collective responsibility. Authorities in Malaysia and Thailand have recovered at least 13 bodies as a search for survivors after a boat carrying undocumented migrants capsized, police and maritime officials said on Monday. Finally, in sports. The Spur Eagles camp officially opened yesterday, Sunday, in Rabat, Morocco, with the arrival of 10 players as Nigeria begin final preparations for their crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup CAF playoffs. Many thanks for joining us on the news. Thank you so much. My name is Chioma Victor. Thanks for watching, and do have a great and amazing Monday and week ahead of you. Stay with us.